Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another segment of the Truth in the Light Hour right here on intellectualradio.com, our iHeart radio station. This is your brother Daniel Israel, and I'm glad to be able to sit before you today. Get your pens and your pieces of paper because, like I say all the time, I want you to follow along and write these scriptures down because we often, way too often, this say anything when it come out of the Bible. And I don't want y'all to think that's the case here on the Truth in the Light Hour. So everybody get your pens and your pieces of paper. All right. As always, I will ask the sisters to cover your head and the brothers to uncover your head, not because of a fashion statement. This got everything to do with a statute that the Lord had put in the Bible. That's First Corinthians, the 11th chapter. And you guys are reading from 1 to the 10. And this is why I asked you that, you know, to do this. And ain't got nothing to do with fashion statement. So I want everybody to do that and just to keep the laws and commandments of God. So I'm back. But before I start, let me say my prayer if I can get y'all to bow y'all heads. Oh, praise the Lord. All ye nations, praise him. All ye people, for his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endures forever. Praise ye the Lord in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. What a day is the law is holy, and it came from God and not men. Not men, brothers and sisters. For all too long, I get these emails. And they always said, hey, man, we ain't got to follow those laws. Those laws ain't nothing. If they wasn't nothing, the Lord would have never made it for us to follow. This is the problem with the world today. We don't keep his laws and commandments, and it don't. Now, we follow all the men laws because if we don't, there's some behind it. But we won't keep the laws of God. And this is why we have problems in our houses. This is why we have problems at work, in the streets, brothers and sisters, in the ghettos, in the hoods, in the neighborhoods, brothers, and all over America, because we can't stop killing one another. The reason why that is because we'll go to a church and they'll tell you, man, we ain't got to do nothing. We ain't under no laws. We under Jesus, we ain't under no laws. So they trying to separate the laws from Jesus. And that's not the way that go. If somebody ever told you that you ain't had to follow God's laws and commandments, then he telling you the wrong thing. Let's start this off in Exodus, the 19th chapter. Exodus, the 19th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. We're going to do a little skipping around because we need to get a complete understanding. You know, we don't know unless we being taught. And the Lord put it on my heart. And a lot of brothers and sisters out here that knows that it's only one ingredient to getting salvation, brothers and sisters, and that is to keep and follow God's commandments. How else you not going to harm your brother? How else you going to love your neighbors like you love yourself if you don't keep them? But we teach not to keep them, and I personally have a big problem with that because that is messing up how things are supposed to be going here in this world, which I'm a neighbor in. So we're going to go to Exodus, the 19th chapter. Write that down. Exodus, the 19th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim and were came to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Israel camped before the mount. So they came out of that Sinai and they came and they sat there and they camped right there. They did it for a reason. Let's go down and skip on down to 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. So he told Moses, okay, get all of those people and you bring so they can hear what I'm going to say. So these people heard the voice of the Lord speaking. So this didn't come from Moses. This came from the Lord, brothers and sisters. We cannot take that out of this Bible. I don't care how you want to shake it up and down and skip verses. You cannot take away what the Lord had put in there. Verse 10, and the Lord said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, because this is what they had to do before the Lord come and make his appearance, brothers and sisters. And be ready against the third day, for the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. So the Lord, these people literally seen the Lord. Seen the Lord. Now we got people saying, oh man, that was God the Father. That is not God the Father, brothers and sisters. The Lord already told you, ain't no man at no time has seen my Father face, his shape, heard his voice at no time. This was the Lord. See, the Lord didn't just get here in Matthew's, brothers and sisters. This is what we got to understand. He has always been around since the Garden of Eden. And even before then, he's always been with his Father. But we have never been that righteous to step a foot in front of God the Father. This is what the laws is for, to condition us on how we supposed to be acting before he get here on that great day, brothers and sisters. This is what this is all about. Let's skip down to 14. And Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives. What he's saying is, hey, this ain't the time to be cozying up with the wives. We're going to keep ourselves clean, because now we finna be directly in the presence of the Lord, brothers and sisters. This is why he's telling them this here. This is why he's telling them this here. Now let's go on down to 17. And Moses brought forth the people out, of the camp to meet with God, Oh, I thought you said, hey, Jesus is God, brothers and sisters. How many lessons do I got to teach? Or this Bible is right here and the words don't change up in it. Jesus was God before he became flesh and blood, brothers and sisters. That's why I know he was here in this Old Testament. This is Jesus here. This is Jesus, and I got lessons to prove that. Stick around, and I can't teach everything right now. Okay, so to meet with God, and they stood at the neither part of the mount, and the Mount Sinai was all together on a smoke. So now this is how it's looking, all together on the smoke, because the Lord descended upon it. The Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. So now here we go. We got the Lord. He's here. He's on the mount. 19. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. So now these people done heard the voice of the Lord. So I'm just taking you through this, because God is the one who brought the law to men. Man, you believing in a book that men wrote? Yes, I do. Why? Because God gave it to who you think prophets is. Prophets are not gods, brothers and sisters. There are people that take the message from God and give it to people. And what message that? Those laws and commandments that we are so quick to get rid of. This is the only way that we're going to get salvation, is this right here, brothers and sisters. Exodus, the 20th chapter. Go on, skip on over to Exodus, the 20th chapter. And we're going to read them. Because if we followed these laws right here, then we wouldn't be going through all the stuff that we're going through. How are you going to get rid of this? Let's read them. We're going to start at verse 1. Exodus, the 20th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. And God spake all these words. Who spoke it? Moses. No, God did. Where did you get that from, Brother Daniel? The Bible. Exodus, the 20th chapter. We reading it together. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. He telling Israel, brothers and sisters, you guys were in slavery. That's what bondage is. I'm the same God that split the Red Sea. This is me. I'm the God that brought you out of that situation. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. This is why you shouldn't have no other gods before me, because I'm the one who delivered you out of that situation. Slavery. That's our first slavery right there, brothers and sisters. We blame it on the white man, did that, man. We were slaves before the white man even got their hands on us. This is what we need to know. This is way before we came over here to America. So he said, number one, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above. Hey, we go to the churches, we see Jesus hanging off a cross. He just said, do not. Jesus is in heaven. Do not make that image. Why? Because instead of you getting the meat of this word, the milk of this word, and listening to this word, you focus on a image, which you got completely wrong anyway. So now you go into church and you see Jesus, supposed to be an image of Jesus, which that's just dead, it's just not right at all. But you up there and you praying to that instead of your heart, mind being focused. This is why he's telling you this. So he's saying don't make any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. Wait a minute. God is jealous? Yes, he do. Where you think these emotions come from, brothers and sisters? This is real. This ain't got nothing to do with fairy tale. This ain't a fable. God got all the emotions you got. Because he made us in his likeness, brothers and sisters. He made us in his likeness. So yes, I am a jealous God. This is what he said. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Because that's exactly what you do, is you hate God when you don't keep his order. And you don't keep his laws and commandments. It ain't all about the dancing and the singing in the church. We got to learn something from this right here. And when you figure that out, then that's when you get knowledgeable. Because we're going to have to give up all these materialistic things. This stuff ain't going to last forever. So the laws and commandments is exactly what we need. Verse 6, and showing mercy unto 1,000 of them that love me. And what? And keep my commandments. So you mean to tell me you're going to destroy the people with their iniquity, but you're going to show mercy to those who love me by doing what? By keeping my commandments? And you telling me when I go to church, they say, we ain't got to keep them old laws and commandments no more. We ain't none of them laws. But if I ain't up under them, then he ain't going to show me that mercy. He just said. He said, showing mercy unto 1,000 of them that love me and keep my commandments. Now you put that together, because you don't got to be a rocket science to figure that out. You don't have to be a rocket science to figure that out. Verse 7, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. This is what it's supposed to be about. This is what it's supposed to be about, right? You ain't supposed to take his name in vain. But we do it all the time, brothers and sisters. This is what we do. 8, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. How many of us do that? The Sabbath day and keep it holy. The Sabbath day is the 7th day of the week, brothers and sisters. How many of us keep the Sabbath day holy? We don't. We keep the first one. Why? Hey, this man's tradition. Emperor Constantine. He changed the Lord's Sabbath day. Do your history too. Into the new Christian Sabbath day, which is on a Sunday. So he switched that. Man did that. This is what we get for following religion. This is how we do it. And this is how we breaking God's laws and commandments. All of these laws are good, brothers and sisters. Every last one of them. 6 days shall thou labor and do all that work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. And in it thou shalt do not any work. Thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle. He don't even want the cattle to work on this day. That's how holy that day is to him. Well, the Sabbath is Sunday. Look at your calendar. Sunday is the first day of the week. It goes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, brothers and sisters. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord, like he said it right now. So he don't want the maid servants, anybody that work for you, the cattle, the strangers that's within that gate. You ain't got to be Israel to keep the Sabbath. The strangers is anybody outside of the nation of Israel. So that's for everybody. So we got to understand we got one God, and God is the God over everything that's living. He even Satan's God. And that is a true fact. We reading it. Read it. 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. This is why you doing it, because it took him 6 days, not literal 24-hour days, brothers and sisters, because the Lord already told you that a day is like 1,000 years to him. 6,000 years he made the heavens and the earth, brothers and sisters. And on the seventh one, he rested and he hallowed it. So he wants us to do that. Why? He conditioning us to be exactly like he is, brothers and sisters. So what's wrong with the laws and commandments? Because it didn't come from man, it came from God. 12. Honor thy father and thy mother. Honor thy father and thy mother's children. Because when you don't do it, then you got a problem not only with your father and your mother, but with God. If we honored our fathers and mothers and our kids honored us, how many kids would be dying right now? Because it's God the one that's letting that happen. Oh, wait a minute. God didn't shoot by. He don't nothing die unless he okayed it. I don't care if he got shot 5 times in the face. If the Lord don't okay it, he will not die. Life and death is in his hands, brothers and sisters. Remember that. The man didn't kill him. He just pushed the trigger. And it's all up to the Lord after that. Hey, I don't want you to go outside after 7 o'clock. I'm going to do it anyway. Go out there, 2 hours later, he dead. Why? Because he didn't obey his mother and his father. And didn't, because that's what the Lord put it here in these commandments. So why are we telling our children, hey, the law is over with. We ain't got, what did? Your kid ain't got to listen to you there. You ain't got to do the law. Okay. You ain't got to do the law. Well, okay. Well, when you go to work, preacher, then I'll just wait until you go and creep in your back door and lay down with your wife. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Thou shalt not commit adultery is a part of the law. You say we ain't got to keep no more. So it should be okay with you. It ain't. Why? Because it's sin, it is wrong, and I'm going to prove that to you. So he said, honor thy father and our mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. If you honor your mother, then your days will be long. If you don't honor your mother and father, which is going against God's laws, commandments, then you will die early. How many of our children hit these streets every day and die? How many of them on their way to the hospital right now? How many of them dying right now? Their days are being cut short. Why? We don't teach them this. We teach them, oh, it's okay, everything you do, Jesus got you. You can do this, Jesus got you. It's the biggest lie ever told. Jesus is where he's supposed to be. He came here, he did everything he was supposed to do, and he ascended right back to his Father. He did what he had to do. You have to do what you got to do. The Lord say, I set before you life and death, good and evil. Choose life and live. It's a choice. You're going to have to be the one that choose. Jesus can't choose you doing righteous. He'll bless you for being righteous. But he also put on the table evil too. Because he said, I sit before you, this evil. You the ones got to choose it. Don't let people tell you and dummy you down and tell you somebody else doing something that you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing it. Okay? And it says 13, thou shalt not kill. Hey, what's wrong with teaching like that? Hey, you ain't supposed to kill. God don't want you to kill. Maybe we can stop some of this killing if we start teaching people, hey, the laws ain't over with. Look at this Bible. Look what happens when people cross God like that. Look at what happens. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay, preacher, we ain't under this no more. Is that what you telling me? You would be piping hot mad if I was on there with Sister Barbara. Think about what you said. We can't cherry pick this thing. Think about what we teaching God's people. The Lord hold us responsible, us ministers and people that's reading out of this Bible, because some people don't know. But that's why I tell you to get your pen and a piece of paper. This is not over with yet. Oh, we ain't under the old covenant. No, we're not. We're under the new one. And I'm going to take you to the New Testament to let you know that that didn't make void the law. You got to have some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding when you read this book. 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his maidservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. We ain't supposed to be wanting that. Get your own, because that breeds envy. Now you want to steal it from them. Be happy your brother done came up with a new car and a great job. Don't try to take it from them. What is wrong with us following these laws and commandments? What is wrong? You tell me. Y'all tell me everything else. Inbox me. Come on with that. Tell me what's wrong with doing it. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar. They were scared. They said, oh man, oh, whoa. Who is that speaking? Why is all this shaking? They ain't never seen no mountain shake. That's because y'all was standing in the presence of the Most High. And y'all heard it out of his mouth. He only did that to let them peoples know this ain't something that man came up with. That's why the law is holy and it came from God and not men, brothers and sisters. The Lord had to show that in the gate, and that's exactly what he did. So they got scared and far off. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. Hey, you come tell us all of that. We don't even want to hear him talk no more to us. They was too scared. You do it. And that's why God used men. Because his presence terrifies. You run, you ain't going to listen. He used somebody of your peers. So you can understand that this is real, brothers and sisters. So when people go, oh, man wrote this book. Yeah, but they was inspired by God. And none of these words are theirs. The Lord is trying to save us. Understand that these commandments is the key to do that. Understand that. So they asked Moses, hey, man, you speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. Ain't that so? Man, we gonna die. We can't stand before him. Don't let God speak to us. You tell us, and we'll do it. So they accepted that. Put themselves under that covenant, which is a promise. We'll do it. We'll do it. Israel did that. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, don't be afraid, for God is come to prove you. He come to show you that this right here is real. You can't believe half of this Bible. A lot of people don't even believe in this, but they'll believe when Matthew, when Jesus came here. Who you think these prophets was talking to and talking about in order for him to get there? They prophesied Jesus up. Jesus had to come. It was in his plan to get here. So he came here to prove you, don't be scared. And that is fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. You need some fear, because that's the only way you're going to do what you is supposed to do. If nothing happened to that kid after you tell him to wash them dishes, then your dishes will never get washed. But if you know you're going to get popped, guess what? Those dishes is going to be washed, and they're going to be washed good. This is real stuff here. This is those laws that people are trying to get rid of. And if we teach our children those laws now, then we'll be saving their life, brothers and sisters. We will be saving their lives. Let's go to Exodus, the 24th chapter. Exodus, the 24th chapter. We got to have a good understanding. And God gave Moses these laws, brothers and sisters, and he told him to do something. 24th chapter. Exodus, the 24th chapter. And we're going to read this verse right here. Exodus, the 24th chapter, and we're going to read verse 12. And it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me unto the mountain, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments, which I have written. Who written it? Not Moses, not man. You know who wrote that? God wrote it. He wrote it, which I wrote, that thou mayest what? Teach them. Moses wasn't nothing but a teacher, brothers and sisters. God used him to teach the people how to save themselves. All these laws and commandments ain't doing enough, making us live longer. And when that time comes, we can get everlasting life on the good side of God's kingdom. We got to understand. Preachers will tell you anything for some money. I ain't asking for no donations. Y'all know how I go here. I ain't never asked for no donations or nothing. Here at the Truth and the Light Hour, because that is not what I'm concerned about. I want some salvation. I done messed up so bad in my life. Man, I'm trying to get salvation. Now that the Lord has showed me how to, I'm going to tell you, because it's my job. He gave that job to Israel to do that. Exodus 31. Come on, we're going to walk it down. Exodus 31. Write this down, please, and share this video, because people need to know. We got to read this book word from word. And what we don't understand, the Lord said, understand and come from him. Ask him for understanding. Man don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. If we did, we'd have this thing right. 31. Exodus 31. And we're going to back up what we said. 31. Exodus 31. And we're going to read verse 18. 31 and 18. And he said, and he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God. Did Moses write that? Wait, look, we reading this here. This ain't Daniel Israel telling you nothing. I can't, you know what I write? My music. All right? That's what I write. That comes from me. I don't write this. I read this right here. This is it. A good teacher of this word can't do nothing but read. We ain't nobody. All I'm doing is reading this. This is not my words. Now, the words that you hear on the songs, that's come from me. If you like it, I appreciate it. But that's the only thing that I write out of this Bible. It comes from God. This didn't even come from Moses. It was written with the what? The finger of God. So how man gonna sit up there and try to take it out the book? We ain't none of this no more. Exodus 32. Exodus 32. Just go on down. 32. We're gonna start at 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down, so he took a while up there, out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, make us gods. Ain't that something? After, look what these people did. After God had delivered them out of the hands of Pharaoh, they come, and because Moses took too long for them. No patience at all. Make us a God. Ain't that something? They broke the first law. before he even brought the laws to these people. Make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. So, hey, we don't even want to be bothered with him no more. The one that brought us, God used Moses to bring them out of bondage. Now we turn our back on him. Hey, look, we don't want to deal with him no more. And Aaron said to them, break off the golden earrings. Now, Aaron was a priest. He was the preacher. He doing the same thing that these modern day preachers are doing right here. Look, we ain't got to do that. Let's do our own thing. Let's do this paganism. Let's do it. And he knew better. And preachers know better. Before we become one of these ministers, we read this book. We know. You don't think these preachers read across this? Yeah. Oh, nope. I better not tell them God to kill them, because they ain't going to come and bring me 10% of that check. And some of them making a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I got cardinals. This is what we dealing with. So guess what? You can't follow people like that. You read this for yourself. This is why he told you to study and show yourself approved. This is an amen. But Aaron was this preacher, so he told him to break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives and your sons and your daughters, and bring them to me. Now y'all finna make a God with y'all war out of bondage. If anything, you should have been the gold God. You the one made the earrings. But take them all off from your husbands, your wives and your children and your daughters. Take them all off, and look what we're going to do. And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them to Aaron like he asked. And he received them out their hand and fastened it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, and brought thee up out of the land, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Whoa! Y'all wore the earrings out, but now y'all done made a golden calf. And now y'all serving this as y'all God. This is what we do every time we worship these pagan holidays. Because you know why I say that? Because I know exactly where they come from. You know why? Because I said, what's the origin of Easter? And then I looked it up. Now I know. I ain't pointing my finger at nobody that do it. All I'm saying is read about it before you celebrate it. Not just like getting in a car, just getting in a car and don't know how to drive a stick or something, and just get there and push the gas. You don't know what's going on. Let's read the instructions on how things work first. Then we can get somewhere, because we ain't going nowhere without knowing the instruction. 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And this is a priest of God, everybody. This ain't the people. This is Aaron. Aaron should have been like, man, you know what the Lord said. We can't do this. Something's wrong. So they built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they even had a feast to a golden calf that they made and gave it credit for bringing them out of bondage when the Lord split the Red Sea and got them that freedom. So when people tell you that this law ain't nothing, you take them to this. These people broke them laws. Check this out. And they rose up early in the morning or the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. And the Lord said unto Moses, go get thee down. He told them, go down there. For thy people which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt has corrupted themselves. Whoa. Go get, look, he didn't even claim them. God didn't even claim them. He didn't say, go get my people. He said, go get your people, them your people, that just broke my law. They have what? Corrupted themselves. So when they break the laws, which is making a golden image like the Lord told them not to, which is having another God before him, what the Lord told them not to. We've just read it in Exodus, the 20th chapter. They did what? They corrupted themselves. So when you do break these laws and commandments, brothers, you corrupt yourself in God's eyesight. Forget what man talking about. Verse 8, they have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. This is God talking. They done turned away from this that I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it and have sacrificed thereunto and said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Ain't that a terrible sin? Didn't even give credit where credit was due at. Worshiped up another God, gave another God credit for coming to the rescue of these people. This is where we go wrong at. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen these people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Stiff-necked. That's just a rebellious person. Just won't do what they supposed to do. And that's what it is. A stiff-necked people. Let's go on down to 15. Why they call them that? Because they is going against his laws and commandments. And that's what we doing in the modern day thing. We keep them, you will see us in a better situation. Oh, black man, we are built from up under these curses. Don't you want to have your own country? Because we the only people who ain't got one. Well, I'm an African. No, Africans got their own country. Wake up and smell the coffee. We the only people that's in existence that don't have their own land. Why? Because we're stiff-necked people. These are our people right here. And you tune in to here, you're going to learn about this. This is what it is. I ain't finna do too much thing. I'm in the music, but you won't hear none of that here. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to warn my people like the Lord told me to. And not just that. 15. And Moses turned and went down from the mount. And the 2 tables of testimony were in his hand, and the tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written. Written by who? Written by God. Moses didn't write them. We just read that. And the tables were the work of who? God. And the writing was the writing of who? God. Graven upon the tables. God wrote them. So they came. So you mean to tell me the law is holy and it came from God and not men? So how men got the power to stop something that God made? We can stop something that man did. We can change those laws. We do it every day in the system, the federal government. We ain't got no power to change what the Most High say. And this is what we fail short and just don't understand. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. It was so loud they was partying and worshiping up this pagan god. So loud, Joshua thought it was war because Joshua went up. He didn't go up on the mount. He was standing God right there, waiting on Moses to come down. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither, or war, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, like war. But the noise of them that sing do I hear. And what they sing. And it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp that he saw the calf and the dancing. And Moses' anger waxed hot. Moses was mad. Man, how could y'all be doing this? As the Lord commanded us not to. And he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. He just threw the table. Man, broke them. Made them mad. Because the simple fact, how could y'all sin against God and he the one that rescued us? But these laws was important. If they wasn't, when he broke them, then they would have stayed broke. Then I can understand you say we ain't none of those laws no more because they was broken. But Exodus, the 34th, let's go. Exodus, the 34th, verse 1, 34 and 1. Let's see what happened. Did they remain broke or what happened to them? 34 and 1. It said, the Lord said unto Moses, here's the 2 tables of stone. This is after this happened, like unto the first one. Do this again, because this is the only way that these people is going to get salvation. He didn't give up on us then. He didn't. He told them to do it again. 2 tables of stone, like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. Look at it. He said he was gonna write them again. So when did we break them and we couldn't keep them no more? How did that come about? When Moses break them, God found it fit to write them again. Moses didn't write them then either. He said, let me do it. Let him do it. I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first table, which thou breakest. So he wrote them again. He deemed them that much important that this word's got to come from me. This is how important it is. And be ready in the morning and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. So Moses had to go back up there. Let's go down to 4. And he used 2 tables of stone, like unto the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning and went up unto Mount Sinai. The Lord has commanded him. And took in his hand the 2 tables of stone. And the Lord descended on a cloud and stood with him there. So the Lord was there again, came back again, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. This is what happened. Let's skip on down to 27. Skip on down to verse 27. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words, I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. He made a covenant. This is an agreement. God ain't no God of fairy tales. He's a covenant God. A covenant God is a God of promise. This ain't got nothing to do with no religion. Did it say, hey, be a Baptist, be a Pentecostal? Now, I'm not kicking on none of that. But that ain't going to get you into God's kingdom. Keeping these laws is. And if your religion is teaching, don't keep them, then that religion is going to hit the lake of fire. And that's just plain and simple with that. You look up every religion, there is a man who came up with it. I made it up in my mind. I ain't following man no more. Because it ain't do nothing but mess me up. 28. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. Can't get rid of those. We live by those. Whether you like it or not, the government do too. Because steal where you go. Kill where you go. Commit adultery what happens. This all happens, brothers and sisters. Ain't nothing gonna come over that. So we need to find out and we need to know really what is going on. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Because it don't stop here. Let's go to Deuteronomy. God did this. Man ain't had nothing to do with God's plan for man. We are part of his plan. That's all that is. We are part of his plan. 10. Let's read it. Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter, starting at 1. At that time, the Lord said unto me, thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first. This like we just read, and come unto me unto the mount and make thee an ark of wood. So the Lord is saying the same thing right here in Deuteronomy the 10th chapter. Let's skip on down to 12. Skip on down to 12. And now Israel won't do the Lord thy God required of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. It's only one way to do that. If you fear God, you'll keep his laws and commandments, the book said. If you love him, you'll keep his laws and commandments. Oh, I love Jesus. Yeah, but you breaking every one of his laws. That ain't love. If you love me, you will keep my commandment. I want to ask the preachers who said that. Who said it? Jesus said that. So how you going? I'm going to go to your church and you tell me that I ain't got to keep them no more. This is why we get all the problems. Everybody think it's political. No, we just simply won't do these laws and commandments like the Lord told us. Why? It ain't cool. Why? This another time and era. Yeah, but God made the time. And he ain't never changed. Man did the changing. Man did the change is the reason why he put us under another covenant. Because we couldn't do this. And you're going to pay for not doing it. The preachers tell, well, we couldn't do that. We ain't under that no more. Yeah. He put you on another covenant that still tell you to obey God's laws and commandments. Jesus said, I ain't come here to destroy no law. I came here to fulfill it. To change it and fulfill it is totally 2 different things, brothers and sisters. We got to understand that. To keep, now we talked about that. He said, God, to walk in God's ways and to love him and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statute, which I command thee this day for thy good. Ain't that something? You're supposed to do this for your own good. To keep his laws and commandments. So if I'm telling you not to do this, then what I'm trying to do? What I'm trying to do to you. Because whatever I'm trying to do to you, it ain't good. He said, keep these laws and commandments for your own good, brothers and sisters. And that's just what it is. Oh, man, that's the Old Testament. Yeah, I know. Let's go to 1 John. Is that old or that's new? Because ain't nothing changed between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Anybody that know this Bible know that. I'm a New Testament Christian. Well, then you just know half of it. I'm an Old Testament Christian. Well, then you just know half of it. How do you know math if you only read half of the book? You have to read it all. And it goes together like a hand in a glove. 1 John the 3. And we're going to read 4. No, let's go to 1 John the 2. That's why I wanted to go with it. 1 John the 2. Let's read it. My little children, these things write I unto you that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous. And he is the perpetuation for our sin, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. That's who it is for everybody that's in the world. It ain't just for Hebrew Israelites. It ain't just for Gentiles. It ain't just for Baptists. It ain't just for Muslims. It's for everybody that are hearkening to the voice of the Lord. And hereby we do know that we know him. This is how we know if we know Jesus. If we keep his commandments. Ain't that something? Wait a minute. You don't even know him if you don't keep these commandments, brothers and sisters. So how I'm a preacher and I'm telling you, we ain't got to keep them old commandments no more. We ain't under them laws no more. But then you don't even know Jesus. So why you teaching? This is how you know him. If you keep his commandment. He that saith, I know him and keep not his commandments is a what? Is a liar. Hey, would y'all reading this with me? Share it, please, out there on Facebook. For a person that tells you, don't keep it. He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. This is what the book say. So when a preacher come to me and tell, and the first thing pop in my mind, you's a liar, sir. Because the Bible called you that, not me, but whoso keepeth his word in him verily is the love of God perfected. So the love of God perfected in you. If you keep these laws, commandments, he hereby know we that we are in him. So this is how you know you with God. If you keep these laws, commandments, this is how you know it. So without doing it, what that tell you? You really don't know nothing. And you don't know God. And I'm telling you that. Not me, but we read it. This is what this is all about, brothers and sisters. We just read it. We just read it. He that said, he abided in him himself also, so to walk even as he walked. So if you're about Jesus, you're supposed to walk like he did. Jesus kept these laws, commandments to the T, or he wouldn't be with his Father right now, because that's what it takes to be next to the Father. You understand what I'm saying? He did it. Brethren, I write no new commandments unto you, but an old commandment which ye had from the beginning. Ain't that something? We read this in John. The Old Testament backing up the New Testament, backing up the Old Testament, and they all keeping God's laws and commandments. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. So that's all the way in Genesis, brothers and sisters. Ain't nothing changed. Man try to change it because men like to sin. Again, a new covenant, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth, brothers and sisters. Laws and commandments of God, we got to keep them. We got to keep them. 1 John, the 3, we're going to read this one. The 3 and 4. 1 John 3 and 4, come on, get that. 1 John 3 and 4. Here it go. Whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. Do you understand that? Sin. Whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. Ain't that something? It ain't no sin. The definition of sin is you breaking the laws and commandments. So if it ain't no law, then it ain't no sin, then it ain't no judgment day, then why are we here? It's okay to kill and steal. It is okay to kill and steal, brothers and sisters. Being under a new covenant does not mean make void the law, brothers and sisters. It does not mean the law is not what we're supposed to be doing. The Lord will tell you that in Romans, the 7th chapter. Read it for yourself. Read it 7, Romans 7 and 14 through the 14. 7 through the 14. Then skip on down to 21 through the 25. He'll tell you, do it make void the law? No, God forbid it. He'll tell you that. In order for us to get salvation, listen to me, please, Facebook. Everybody that's out there listening to us on YouTube. In order to get salvation, we got to keep God's laws and commandments. Anybody tell you that you don't have to keep God's laws and commandments, they're a lie and the truth not in them. Thank you for tuning in today. This is your brother Daniel Israel here on the Truth and the Light Hour on intellectualradio.com, an iHeart radio station. Thank y'all for joining us. I'll be back Wednesday. I hope y'all got something out of this lesson. Thank y'all. Ooh.